Finally, the WHO, the World Health Organization, have declared the coronavirus a pandemic. So I personally think that is 1 week too late, um, at least 1 week too late, because they should have sounded the alarm bell when South Korea, Italy, and Iran went out of control. So saying it now, better than none, better than they never do it. But this, I have to also say that it doesn't really matter what the World Health Organization say, because they really have not much part in the fight against the virus in individual countries themselves. So I'm not really sure what will change just by declaring a pandemic when everybody already decide that it is. So let's take a look at the article. This is live because the conference is still ongoing. Um, so WHO declares pandemic as number of infected countries grow. So Angela Merkel foresees 2/3 of German being infected. The US with over 1,000 cases, business disruption. Okay, so in the previous post, previous video, I already mentioned about the German case, so I will not cover it today. So this is a global pandemic, the WHO says. So the spread of the coronavirus across 100 countries now qualifies as a global pandemic. World Health Organization officials say on Wednesday, confirming what many epidemiologists have been saying for weeks. So until now, the WHO have avoided using the term to describe the epidemic, leapfrogging across the world for fear of giving the impression that it was unstoppable and countries would give up on trying to contain it. Really? So the organization had said earlier in the outbreak that it no longer officially declared when an epidemic reaches pandemic proportion, preferring instead to declare global public health emergency. Earlier in the outbreak, it no longer officially declared when, and this English is a bit weird. So the Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, the chief of WHO, said in a news conference in Geneva, pandemic is not a word to use lightly or carelessly or lately. We cannot say this loudly enough or clearly enough or often enough. All countries can still change the course of this pandemic. And why, at the first place, this pandemic will happen is because WHO is not doing the job. This is ridiculous. WHO right at the beginning should have already declared or request or advised that the world stop flight and traveling from to and fro China. And then saying all this is just hypocritical. And they were advising just like a month ago. They were advising against travel bans, and come on. So now, as evidence on 6 continents sustained transmission of the virus, infecting more than 120,000 people and killed more than 4,300. And most scientific measures, the spread qualifies as a pandemic. And the article is pretty honest. The designation itself is largely symbolic, and the public health officials know the public will hear in the word elements of danger and risk. And yes, it's because WHO have not been honest enough, have not dealt with the situation and declare things as it is. That's why people are slack. That's why things are in a mess now. Everything is out of control. Just look at Europe. It's no difference from China from a month ago. Europe today is the same situation as China a month ago, but without all the draconian and authoritarian authoritarian control that forces people to stay at home, and they do not have the ability to command um, mass mobilization of forces and medical people to deal with the situation. And remember, despite in China, which is the epicenter of the situation, most of the cases is actually concentrated within just Hubei province alone, where Wuhan city is. Wuhan is the capital city of Hubei province, in case you do not know. And for and the rest of China, if you look at the numbers, is actually not that high. If you look at Switzerland, Norway, all these countries, just take a look. Spain, 2,000 cases. Which province in China have 2,000 cases other than Hubei? I have no idea, man. Let me see another web page, just to put my point clearer. Let's refresh this page. Let's look at, you take a look. The biggest number of cases in China is Guangdong, and they only have 1,356 cases, which means in China, most of the situation, most of the virus is actually contained within Hubei province. It is, despite, yes, there is many cases outside of Hubei, but it is not at the level of what we have today in European Union. You just check out the ranking now. Italian. So let's take Italy as Hubei, for example. Is there another province that have 2,000 cases? And this is, I'm telling you, this is they are not even doing enough, and this number is the infected from 1 to 2 weeks ago. The number of infected that the symptoms has not come out, we do not know yet. This number is going to triple in 2 weeks time. So Spain, there's 2,000 over. France is 1,700, which France alone is still more than Guangdong. You see, Germany is more than Guangdong. It's ridiculous. So this declaration of pandemic is too late. The world need to really do something about this. Every country, every citizen in each country have to do their part. If you are sick, wear a mask, go to the doctor. If you're not sick, don't go out as well if you can. And you don't have to wear a mask, just don't touch your face. Wash your hands all the time, because I don't even think you're gonna have enough masks to go around. So the rest of the article is really long. I'm gonna put it in the comments, in the description below, and you can read it yourself. It's basically talking about all the different countries' measures and what they do to deal with this pandemic. Yep, we're calling this pandemic as well. So another segment will be coming up in a while. I will be doing the report for the Singapore's official cases report, which is terrible because most of the new cases in Singapore today are imported. Thank you, WHO. You did a good job.